Hey YouTube, thanks for watching. Today, Brown Tactical has another video talking about this here rifle. This is a Springfield Arms model 120 Series A. And I don't know if it's necessarily Springfield or Savage Arms. I think around the time that this rifle was made, from whatever I've researched, it is from the 40s. Early 40s. From what I hear, that they were transferring the name over, or the company over, either from Savage to Springfield or Springfield to Savage, or I don't know quite what was going on, but something was going on that caused them to put both of the company names on there. Let you guys see here if it'll focus. I was having trouble getting it to focus earlier, but there you go. If you can see that, that's the inscription that it's got on it. And it's just a really simple little gun. It's a little single shot bolt action. So basically, your bolt comes here, and it opens up. You've got your little extractor right here, and then this is your hammer. You pull that thing back. It takes a little bit of strength to pull it back. I took my girlfriend out shooting. I can't remember, it was a couple months ago, but she was actually unable to pull it back, so there's definitely going to be some people that aren't going to be able to pull it back. I'm going to lower it. This gun does not have a safety. That is the safety. If the hammer's back, it's in fire. If it's forward, it's in safe. Once it is cocked, I believe that the bolt basically locks in place. You can't move it up until it has been fired or lowered manually like that. Which obviously, if there's a round in there, not going to be the safest thing to do. But if you're confident with it, you can do it definitely really pretty easily. And just a couple things I want to talk about why I really like this rifle so much is because, and why I think that it should be an important part of anybody's gun collection if they collect guns or if they're into shooting, is because a single shot rifle like this one here is just, I think it's really important for developing marksmanship, because it kind of puts a lot more emphasis as opposed to working with like a semi-automatic. Like a lot of people get like a 10-22 for their first rifle, and in my opinion, this is better than that for teaching just fundamentals and basics. Because you're not just slinging 15 rounds downrange all at once, and calling that training and saying like, yeah, because you can. I'm not saying you can't get good at shooting by doing that, but this you have to pull this back, eject your shell, lead a new shell in, chamber that new shell, cock the hammer, and then you can get sighted in and ready to fire. And so it really makes you value those shots a lot more, because if you just had if you just have a semi-automatic rifle, like a 10-22, which is very similar to this, in the fact that it's a 22 rifle in the way that it shoots, you're gonna be less careful with each individual shot, as opposed to something like this. Is if you are not taking your time and placing your shots correctly, you're going to be wasting a lot of time. Whereas on a 10-22, you're going to be sitting there, you're going to take 1, 2, 3 misses, and then boom, you hit it on the third hit, and it was only like 2 seconds that you were shooting. You're like, hey, I'm pretty good, 2 seconds, got it in 2 seconds. But then you do something like this, and it's like 20 seconds you haven't hit the thing. It feels a lot longer if you take that long to not hit something. So I think that it really does build up a lot of fundamentals And it's honestly just a really nice gun, because especially because I mean, I've shot a friend of mine's 1022, and I mean, I'm not going to say that they're unreliable, but I've had malfunctions with it, whereas this is just, it's so fundamentally basic. It's, you know, there's, I can actually take it apart just like this. I put this back, I pull the trigger, and then basically pull this thing out here, just like that. So literally this whole piece is one piece of metal right here, all the way for the whole barrel, and this part of the chamber here is all one piece of metal, all milled out, and that's your chamber right there. And so that's just one piece of metal, so there's one piece, along with, you know, your trigger mechanism, which the trigger just operates, I don't know if you guys can see this little bar right here. When I pull the trigger, that bar moves up and down, and that's just what's going to release your firing pin, which you can see here. This is our bolt assembly, and we have this spring here, which I can pull, and you can see how there is a little catch right here at the end of the spring. And so what happens is that spring gets caught on this little nub that your trigger is connected to. This spring pulls back when you pull it back, and it gets caught on that little nub, which is also spring loaded. So it gets caught, and then that little thing gets caught there, and then the trigger releases it, and it releases it into this little bar right here, which is our firing pin, which moves just back and forth just like that. So whenever this thing is coming, slamming forward, you guys can see that right there, slams forward, hits our little firing pin here, and then this is going to be holding our round, and that's where it's going to hit the rim on our rimfire 22s. So something like this, I mean, you can see that there's only a few parts that are, you know, basically making this up. So it's very, you know, very fundamental, very easy to understand how the firearm works, and for that, and by that virtue, it's a lot easier to learn on. And honestly, if I had to take, you know, something with me like lightweight, there's a lot of people that have these like collapsible 1022s, but honestly, like for me, reliability is probably more important to me, and so I'd probably take something like this just for taking small game in a survival like situation. But anyways, that's just my opinions. Let me know what you guys think about this little gun. What do you guys think? Do you think it's cool, or do you guys prefer the 1022? Let me know. Thank you. Bye bye.